Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Evening Happy Hour with Back to Basics Dog Training. And as usual, I am super excited to be here to bring you hopefully what is considered value content to help you and your dogs in your lives together to have that happy, balanced, cohesive life together. So with that being said, as always, thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate it. And if you're watching me here on the live version or later on the replay, please remember, put a comment down. Let me know where you're watching from. Give me a shout out, say hi. And if you have any questions, even later on during the replay, always post your questions. I will get to them. I'm not sure how the YouTube questions work. I haven't seen a lot of comments on my replays, but put the comments there. Hopefully I get it. If you don't see me answering it on the YouTube, please go to my Facebook page and shoot me a message. Say, hey, listen, I responded to your YouTube. You didn't answer my question. And post the question on a message to me on Facebook, and I will definitely get back to you on it. So with that being said, again, welcome. And let's start talking about some of the things I've noticed in the last week since we were here last Wednesday evening that I want to touch base on. And one of them is a dog in a house with multiple people trying to do the training of the dog. And one of the things that I want to bring out is the consistency of the commands or the words that we're using with our dogs are crucial. So if we're doing crate training with a dog and one person is saying kennel up and one person is saying crate and one person is saying, go to your home, that's just confusing the dog a little bit. Excuse me 1 second. Sorry, I had to respond to somebody. So keep that in mind that later on, it's confusing to the dog. One person saying this, one person saying that, one person saying this. Come up with simple commands that everybody in the household can agree on, because the consistency in how we train our dogs is going to help us progress or help them progress in their learning process. So if you're going to say, kennel up, say kennel up. If you're going to say crate, say crate. If you're going to say night night, say night night. If you're going to say home, say home. Whatever the word is or the sound is that you're going to use it consistently throughout everybody in the family. Otherwise, we're just confusing dogs. If you're going to take the dog out for a walk, go potty, and everybody uses the word go potty, great. If you're going to use go to your spot or find a spot, whatever it is, stay consistent, stay true to what you're doing. And it's going to take time and patience for that to happen. So I really want to stress on the consistency of what we're doing as a family to help our puppy. So that's why, people that have had me in the homes for private sessions, you probably heard me say it either here on my YouTube live or on my Facebook live Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock. One of the things I say is stay consistent. If you're going to use a discipline word, use one discipline word for the whole entire family. Be it the word no, be it the word nope, be it the word hey, be it the word, the sound, whatever it is that gets the point across to the dog that behavior is unwanted. Everybody needs to stay consistent with it so it makes it easier for the dog. We don't want to send out 7,000 words to confuse the dogs. So let's keep that in mind. The other thing I really want to talk about this week is the state of mind of dogs. I think we're getting ourselves confused because we're humanizing the dogs and trying to do what we think is right. The dog's afraid of the vacuum. The dog's afraid of noises, afraid of a leaf falling, or afraid of a helicopter or a plane flying overhead. And as humans, what do we tend to do? It's okay. Relax. It's only this. And we're soothing them when their mind is unsure. Guys, I say it all the time. The best thing we can do. Good morning, Michelle, Athena, and Rob. How is everybody today? As humans, we tend to soothe the unwanted state of mind. I don't want my dog to be afraid of a vacuum. So, well, the object is, well, somebody take the dog out. I'm going to vacuum all the dogs out, and that's how we're going to do this. And we're going to run around like lunatics. And that, well, first of all, that's not realistic. Um, so how do we have to do this? Is when the dog hears the vacuum, the worst thing we can say is, it's okay, it's only a vacuum, baby, it's not going to hurt you. Human wise, we understand that. As a human, I understand that. We want to make them feel more comfortable with that sound or whatever is making their insecurity highlight. Athena won't go out because it's raining here on Long Island. She has no choice. Again, you got to guide her out there, and make it happen. I know Zoe doesn't like going out when it's raining, guys. And when we lived on Long Island, because we had that luxury of the back door where we could just open it up, she heard that rain on the deck. She wasn't going out. Here, because we have no choice, we have to walk her. If it's raining or not, we're going out for a walk, and we're going to make it happen. So you got to do that pressure release. You got to do that pressure release. You got to do that pressure release. And every time you get motion, you got to praise her, praise her, praise her. When she gets outside in the rain, praise her. Somebody actually said it. I've done some research on it. One of the things you can do is buy a raincoat for them. It does work. Lure her out with food, but she still didn't do her business. I hate to say, because it sucks to be, the human at this point. You got to wait her out and not let her get that win, because if you go out and she doesn't do her business, she got the win. So I don't care if she just pees. Fine, praise her, bring her in. She's a good girl. She can hold it. I mean, there's times when Zoe wouldn't go out in the rain, and she's been out there. She's been out there and not gone for 12 hours, 14 hours because it's raining out or whatever. It is what it is. As long as she's holding, not having accidents in the house, I'm not going to press an issue. Rob, no, the raincoat is not a crazy idea. A lot of dogs accept it and work. I've done the research on it. I know we've done that with one of my dogs in the past, Maddie. We put a raincoat on her. She seemed a lot happier about going out in the rain because she hated going out in the rain too. And it definitely did work. But again, we don't want to reinforce Athena's state of mind when, for whatever reason, she's unsure of the rain. Well, the object is not to humanize it. We know she needs to go out, so we have to get her to go out. And that takes the patience and the calm energy, because we know her going out in the rain is not going to hurt her. So why am I going to say, it's okay, it's only rain, it's not, I'm not going to have a human conversation with her. What I'm going to do is I would have her on the leash, and I would apply pressure. And I know she's a big, strong girl, so it may take a little bit of an effort. And as soon as I get any motion, release the pressure. Good girl, let's go. And then boom. And then keep that forward motion going and make it the best thing since sliced bread. And make the excitement in there. And then when she gets out there and she pees or she poops or she does her business, again, we're going to make a big deal out of it. I know she's food motivated, so if she pees and poops outside, give her a treat out there, outside only, just to show her, hey, you can do this in the rain and you're still going to get some sort of reward. But you can't feed into these insecurities by saying it's only a vacuum, it's not going to hurt you. No, what I do when I have dogs that are unsure of vacuums is I put them on a leash and I run the vacuum, or I bring out the vacuum. Some dogs, just the sight of the vacuum freaks them out. And then I make sure they're calm. Once I know they're calm, okay, we're going to praise. And then I'm going to move the vacuum. I may not even start the vacuum, move the vacuum back and forth, just so they see that motion. And that motion doesn't represent anything, because that should be calming. And then we move the vacuum back and forth until eventually they're calm. I'm going to praise them, and eventually I'm going to turn the vacuum on, and may not do actual vacuum, and just have it on next to me. And how I would do it is have the vacuum over here and the dog over here. But when the dog gets that flight reaction going because of the sound of the sight of the vacuum, I'm going to let them go through the temper tantrum. Because once they're calm, they're going to realize, oh, that thing didn't hurt me. Why am I freaking out? And that's the same thing when they hear the thunder or the fireworks or the helicopter or the airplane or whatever it is that triggers these unsure behaviors. We have to work them through it without the words and the petting and the soothing. Because remember, I know from the human point point of view, when I'm soothing my dog when they're unsure of something, or if it was my child, I can soothe them. Oh, it's only the fireworks. It's not going to hurt you, baby. They're outside. They're fine. You're safe. Don't worry about it. It's just a loud noise. They're pretty if you look at them, blah, 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 blah. I can't do that with my dog. They're not going to understand me. So the best thing I can do to help them move them forward is not react to it and not talk to them and not soothe them and pet them. Let them go through the gamut of emotions they need to go through to realize nothing bad happened. And I'm going to tell you now, it's harder for the human to see that than it is for the dog to go through it. I use Duke as the example constantly. Anybody who knows me knows we pulled Duke from Remember Me Rescue, pulled Duke from the Hempstead shelter and gave me the honor and the privilege of working with Duke for an 8-week board and train program. And it happened to fall during the 4th of July. Athena used to react to the hair dryer and now ignores it. Now I vacuum with her in her crate and she's gotten much better, almost tolerant. Yeah, it's just desensitizing them to what it is. But if we make a big deal out of it, we're going to make their behavior that we don't want escalate. So again, using Duke as the example, Duke was terrified when I got him of thunder and fireworks. And fireworks start earlier and earlier every year. And I now started noticing these unwanted behaviors somewhere in the second to third week of June. And I said, all right, I need to work with him on that. I had plans for the 4th of July. I canceled my plans because I did not think it was fair to keep Duke in a crate 4th of July when nobody was there. He can get hurt. If he panics too much, he can hurt himself. So I canceled my plans. I invited people over to my house. And what I did on 4th of July is I had Duke on his leash. We were all sitting outside on my deck while fireworks were going off. And he was not comfortable. The poor dog was, in human terms, was terrified. And it broke my heart to see this because I'm human. I never want to see a dog stress. Same way I don't want to see kids stress over things that we know shouldn't scare them, a fear of the dark, or fear of the boogeyman. We don't want to see it. We want to make it all go away. But again, with children, I can rationalize. With dogs, I can't. So what I do is I let him go through his temper tantrum, and his flight reaction was strong. He gave me a run for my money. He wanted to get away. He wanted to go hide. He wanted to go do something. So what I ended up doing with him is I took out his tug toy. That was his favorite toy. And when we had a lull in the fireworks, when he was sitting there and his eyes were this big, I tried to get him to play with me with the tug toy. And it was very hard for me to get his attention because he was so in that state of mind. But eventually I got him to play with the tug toy with me. And we started playing, and then all of a sudden somebody else lit off a firework, the play stopped. And we started the process over again, and we did it over and over and over again until eventually we were playing with the tug toy and somebody lit off a fireworks and he continued to play because he realized that sound means nothing. I get to play. Yay. We did that all night on the 4th of July. 5th of July comes. Duke's bedtime was like 8, 9 o'clock at night. He put himself in the crate. I shut the crate and somebody was blowing off fireworks and he slept through it. Care less. So we desensitized him to it. Is he 100% cured at that point? No, he wasn't 100% cured. I'm hoping the new owners have continued doing what I've done with him with the noises, and it's continuing. Michelle says she's still insane when she hears the dog next door. Not getting used to her at all. We began to think she's never going not to react when she hears her, whether she's in the house. No, she will. It's. You can't get that defeatist attitude. For whatever reason, that dog triggers her. If she's in the home, you have the connection, you have your remote collar, you have your regular leash, whatever you're going to use, you've got to make that no sound or enough sound, whatever you're using when she's reacting to Fifi next door, so damn uncomfortable, she's going to get it through her head. So if we're using the remote collar and I try it on 20 and it's not working, I'm going to go up to 30. If it's not working, I'm going to try it again at 40. I'm going to go up until I get a level where I get a freaking attention. And then when she's calm while that dog is making the noise, I'm going to praise her. And I'm going to reward her. And again, because she's food motivated, as much as I'm not big on treats, give her a treat if she's calm, but her state of mind has to be calm. You've got to stay consistent on this. The fetus attitude that she'll never get used to that dog is going to hinder it, because in the back of your head, your energy is saying that every time she reacts to another dog. So you need to, if she's up here, you guys, you gotta be calmer. You gotta lead her. You gotta guide her to that calm state of mind. She will do it. I've dealt with dogs that do the exact same thing. It's funny because, again, using the environment I'm in now, when I walk Zoe, there's dogs out on the terraces or whatever that bark at her in the very, very beginning when we first got here. But bark from the terrace. They'd see her in the window, they'd bark, and Zoe doesn't react. And what I'm noticing now is those same dogs are not reacting to Zoe because they're not getting the feedback from Zoe in a way they're expecting. Same thing with Athena. That dog next door makes noise. If we can get through to Athena, and you can, to get her to calm down, that dog will not react as badly after a certain period of time because she's not getting that feedback from Athena saying, hey, look, I'm getting her. I'm winning. Yeah, let's keep making noise because I'm going to win. So one dog can control a neighborhood. I believe this. Again, if your neighbor was the type of neighbor you can work with, I would try to do everything on a controlled environment. And I tell you, the best thing you could probably do, if you guys can figure it out and physically do this, is try to do a pack walk with that dog. Again, dog, human, dog, short leashes. We're traveling. It's not about smelling each other, sniffing each other's butts, not about playing, not about interacting. We're in a pack. We're traveling. We're going to point A to point B. I would love for that to happen. I don't know your neighbor well enough to say if you can convince them to do that. That's what I would like to see, because then they become a pack and that nonsense should stop. We're going to be doing it. There's a customer of mine about 2 miles from here who's got a puppy, happens to be named Zoe, who they want their Zoe to be I think it's called a service dog, the one that goes into nursing homes and things like that, therapy dog. So we're going to use my Zoe to help their Zoe. And my wife is going to come and my daughter's going to come and we're going to videotape the whole process if it's okay with them. Because I want to show you how one dog can change. And this is a young puppy who's going to be excited when she sees another dog. But we're going to teach her when she sees another dog, she has to be calm. And we're going to teach her that when she sees people, she needs to be calm. We're going to teach her that when somebody drops something on the floor, she's not allowed to get it. Because those are all things that can create a therapy type of dog from going into nursing homes, hospitals with people with, that need to see dogs just because dogs are so great. But if somebody drops food, we don't want the dog to go after it. If somebody drops some medicine, we definitely don't want the dog to go after it. The dog is not supposed to jump on people. So everything has to represent calm with this little dog, and that's what we're going to do. And then hopefully set Zoe up for success. Not my Zoe, there's other Zoe. For success, so when she goes for her therapy dog test, she'll pass it with flying colors. And, we can make a lot of big deal out of everything. This test for therapy dogs, this test for this type, this type. And reality is, if you want to bring a dog into an environment that is about therapy, it's all about the calm. And what do I preach every week? Calm energy, reward the calm. There's hundreds of different therapy dog groups that have 100 different type of tests. Do I know them? No. Am I going to eventually become certified in it? Yes. One, because I think there's a need for therapy dogs. But reality is, everything I teach people now could be used in therapy dogs because it's all about calm. Therapy dogs cannot be excited. Therapy dogs can't jump on people. Therapy dogs can't be food motivated. So if they see food, that's all they give a crap about. No, they can't be. And that's all rewarding a state of mind that we prefer, a calm state of mind. Therapy dogs that go into nursing homes or hospitals have to be desensitized to different sounds. A vacuum cleaner, a vent, the machine that goes DTTT, whatever it's called, for the heart rate. Those are all noises that dogs are not familiar with. So we need to desensitize them to ways that they hear that sound. That sound has to represent calm. And we can do that. But it has to start at every little thing, never rewarding excitement, never rewarding a state of mind we don't agree with. We only agree with a calm state of mind. That's the same thing with Athena. She's getting feedback in this unwanted state of mind, be it negative or positive. She's getting the feedback, so she's feeding off of it. That's why your no's, that no nonsense approach that I preach. No means no. Why? Because I said so. It's not no. Don't bark at the neighbor's dog. The neighbor's dog is not bothering you. Why you bark at blah 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 blah? No. No means no. Boom. Make your no's relevant, people. Reward the calm. So I hope all that makes sense. Guys, if anybody needs clarification, anything I discussed, remember, you can always private message me. We can always do something on a Zoom also for more of that one-on-one interaction. Don't be shy. Reach out to me. I would definitely be happy to do something like that. Besides giving the free content here, there are other ways we can help remotely, to get to my goal of together we can help one dog and one family at a time. So, take advantage of what I'm offering. And like I said, anybody who's watching now or watching later on in the replay, this is free content I'm willing to put out there. All I ask in return is to share this with all your friends and relatives around the country, around the world that are fellow dog lovers like all of us. And let's spread the word, because the word is calm. And that's the word we need to spread. How do we get the dogs? How do we get like the puppy I worked with today? I take that leash, the dog behaves. I go to the house, the dog doesn't try to bite me or chew my shoes or do anything. Why? Because they understand my energy. And what do I say week in, week out? The best tool in the dog training world is your energy. But if you're not truly calm, your dog will know this. So if Michelle is not truly calm when she hears that dog next door come out, if she's getting that, and I'm not saying you do, Michelle, that, oh my God, Fluffy's out next door, Athena's going to act like an idiot. If you're doing that, guess what? Athena's going to act like an idiot. Instead of, like, my mindset is, oh, great, the dog's outside next door. Let me teach Athena not to react. It's a better mindset. It's a better energy. Energy is going to dictate. The calmer you stay, the quicker this process goes. I know this for a fact. Anybody who's had me at the house that's watching now or on the replay, put the comments down. How did your dog react when I walked in the house? Did they act the same way they would for Tom, Dick, or Harry? No. Why? Because my energy is right there every single time. And that's the thing I need to get out to you, to people, is forget everything. Forget everything you know. Energy, 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 energy. I'm going to say it until I'm blue in the face. I wish I could figure out a way to make my light turn my face blue so I don't have to say it so much. But that's what's going to communicate to your dog better than anything coming out of your mouth. Any body language, your energy is going to control it. The higher the dog is with their excitement level, the lower I go. Why? Because if I jack up to their level, I'm just feeding into it. So it makes sense. If they're at an 8, I want to be at a 1. And it works every single time. So I hope that makes sense, guys. Again, let me know in the comments if all this makes sense, either now, later on, or later on in the replay. Let me know if this is giving you guys some value here, because it's really about helping all our fellow dog lovers have that balanced life they want with their dogs and their dogs need from them. And that's why we do this, for the love of the dog, to have that happy, balanced life. I've said this for as long as I can remember. The last thing that should be causing stress in our world is our dogs. Our dogs should be that sense of comfort. They should be almost like our security blanket. That sense of comfort, that sense of joy. When you come home from work, seeing your dog. There's a customer of mine, she's usually on my Facebook Live, that, when she has that bad day at work, she can't wait to get home and just have that walk with her dog, because that's her zen time. So it should be. 6 months ago, 8 months ago, when I started working with them, they never visualized that ever happening. But they bought into the system. They understand how their energy was making or breaking the situation. And now they have that dog that they can't imagine their lives without. But when I first got the phone call from them, literally they were sitting, in tears saying, did we make a mistake? Did we get the wrong freaking dog? You know what? You don't always get the dog you want. You get the dog you need. And I believe that. They're there for a reason. We pick and we choose, or they choose us, or whatever this happened. There's a reason for it. And that's the dog you needed. Not the one you necessarily wanted, but the dog you needed for something in your life to help you. Find it, utilize it, take advantage of it. Zoe is my comfort. When I have a bad day, Zoe's always consistent with me. But in fairness to her, I'm always consistent with her. There is no deviation from rules. When I work with her here or wherever, when we're doing our structured walk, it's all about the structure. It's not about smelling peanut poo-poo, because I preach it's not. But I stay consistent day in. I don't care if it's raining out. When I do that structured walk, we're doing the structured walk. It's got to be broken down to thirds. And it's consistent. She knows it. So she actually appreciates that consistency. That's what I started off today with. It's consistency. Consistency, not only in the commands, but in the routines that we do and the structure that we do. You know, if I go to a house with a puppy and I sit on the floor, which is very difficult, you'll see the puppy won't bite me, won't try a lot of stuff. But if their mom or dad sits on the floor and does the same routine, that puppy's trying to bite their clothing, bite the leash if they happen to have a leash, bite the hair if they're long hair. You'll see all this. And that's because that puppy is looking at mom and dad as pack mates. And again, imagine growing up in my generation and looking at your parents as your siblings. You get your butt kicked if you treated them like you treat your siblings. Well, that's what the dog's doing to you, but we're letting them get away with it because they're cute. They're a puppy. You're actually setting them up for failure, and I don't believe in setting up dogs for failure. Michelle, seriously, if you can work with your neighbor a little bit and try to do a pack walk, that may go a long way with this, because they're not seeing each other through the fence. They're just smelling each other, and the energy is there. Pack walks are huge, guys. Especially when you have dogs that don't get along. It's the best way to get them to get along. So maybe it's something you guys could try once the weather breaks a little bit. And everybody has to stay calm. If you're all nervous Nellies, it ain't gonna work. And again, it's gonna come from your energy. Your energy is gonna make or break these situations. So I hope all that makes sense. We're at our magic half-hour mark. I'm not getting a lot of questions, so we're not going to keep you guys up all Wednesday evening. But if there's questions, please remember, either now, live, if you have any questions, get it before I sign off. If you're not and you're watching on replay, please post your questions. Let me know. I will definitely answer them as best to my ability and as quickly as possible. But with that being said, guys, as always, stay healthy, stay safe. God bless. Thank you for inviting me to your home every Wednesday evening. I really do appreciate it. And remember, together, we can help one dog and one family at a time. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. We'll see you next week.